I'm Brian Young, Sales Director here at Varid. If you're watching this video, you're trying to figure out whether to build a new e-commerce site or to fix the one that you already have. That's why we put together this video, to give you honest answers to the most common questions that you're going to have when you're trying to make a decision about how to move forward. Should I build a new site? The first thing to consider would be the site performance. And there are typically two parts to site performance. The first part being the customer expectations. Does the site perform the way the customer expects it to perform? Is it fast? Can they get it on mobile? Can they find the products that they want easily enough? Can they get to checkout easily? Or are you making it more difficult? Look at your analytics and see where your customers are coming into the site and where they're leaving the site. Are they spending enough time, or maybe they're leaving too early? It will give you some clues about what's not operating correctly on the site and where you can make changes or potentially address those issues. Or whether things are so beyond broken that you have to go back and you have to consider a rebuild. The other side of the performance issue are operational expectations. How's the site performing on your side? Do the integrations work? Are the applications working? Do things break on you? Are data exchanges performing the way that you expect them to? Are you spending too much time in manual processes, or are you getting enough out of the automation that you expected to get? Two sides to consider, both the customer side and the operational side. In some cases, if the site has good imagery, maybe the organization is good, but things are still broken, features don't work, checkout doesn't work, maybe it's too slow, it could make sense to simply migrate what you have over to a new theme, and that would be a relatively simple process. However, if the site is dated, it's slow, operationally it's problematic, then it might be time to actually do a new design and a new site build. Talk to a qualified, experienced development agency who can help you sort through these issues, find out what your expectations are, and help you address them properly. There are a number of factors that can go into site speed or making a site better. Some of the simplest things just might revolve around the size of your imagery. Site imagery could actually speed up the site, but it could be things that are more complicated too. It could be code-related issues that's within the theme itself, maybe code on your third-party applications, code that's just getting old and broken, or perhaps you need something that's more customized that's going to help you address it. You can address these issues on your own internally, and that would be great. However, you might want to look for a qualified development agency that has the skills in-house to be able to do a deep dive on all of these issues and take a look at you and take a look at what the issues are and what the resolution is. Look for somebody who has the ability to not just do a deep dive on the imagery, for instance, but also take a look at the code across the site. Again, back to applications. Are they the appropriate applications? Are they operating the way that they should? Take a look at things like product discovery. Take a look at things like accessibility. Can everybody use my site? Take a look at things like checkout friction. Go beyond the normal conversion rate optimization issues and do a complete and exhaustive study of what's going on your site. Then develop a roadmap of what those issues are and which ones should be addressed in the priority of importance and how they impact each other. That will get you through a good plan that's going to help you address these issues in a timely way. And again, if you don't have the internal skill set, that's fine. Find a qualified agency that can help you address these issues, develop that roadmap, and get you down the road to where you're happy with your site. Can I build an e-commerce site myself, or do I have to find an agency to help me build one? And if I do hire an agency, what would I look for in a good agency? Well, on the one hand, sure, you can build a site on your own. Today's software as a service platforms have the tools that make it as easy as possible to go ahead and set something up quickly, get product on, and begin selling as quickly as possible. With a minimum of in-house skills and a little bit of time and attention, yeah, you can build a site that will work just fine and satisfactorily. On the other hand, let's say that you have more complex issues that are going to be built into the site. In other words, Maybe you need special applications, or maybe you have designs that need customization work and don't easily fit into one of the readily available themes. Or maybe you have other needs. Maybe you already have back office systems for fulfillment or warehousing or ERP that are going to need some integration work. And maybe those integrations are things that may not be readily available to you, or you don't understand how to apply them. In that case, a good development agency is going to come in handy to make sure that you get the result that you want. So what should you look for in that agency? Well, obviously somebody who has development experience in the platform that you want to operate on. And number two, somebody that has a legacy of building sites in an efficient, cost-effective, and satisfactory way and delivers things on time. At the same time, you want to ask about their in-house development skills. Do they have experience in doing the kinds of customizations that you might be interested in? That could be on the front end, on the site itself, and again, it can be on the back end where it involves integrations and applications. In fact, you may even ask this developer if they have experience in helping retailers like you to figure out which applications and which partners for third-party services are going to be the best ones to work with for your particular site. Beyond that, look for somebody who also has some kind of program in place where they can support you going forward after the site is launched. Sometimes issues come up, or sometimes you may want to make changes in the future. Maybe you want to phase in other types of features or functionality. Having that development resource available to continue to assist you and support you into the future is going to be a real strong asset to you. What should I expect in terms of a process? Your agency should be able to define for you a good repeatable process that will include a number of steps. First, up front, expect a series of discovery meetings, including a kickoff meeting where formally your team comes together with the development agency's team and they take a deep dive into the desires that you have for your new e-commerce site in terms of design, issues, requirements, third-party services, and other features that you want into the site. From there, expect that once the project has begun, that the development agency is going to be talking with you on a regular basis. At least weekly, the development agency should be updating you on developments that have occurred, any problems that they've encountered, and asking you for your input on any changes that you want to make along the way. Make sure that the dialogue is two-way. Your agency should make available to you sections of the site as they become available. Expect them to ask you to become involved in not only the training process, but also in the quality assurance process to make sure that things are working and that things are turning out the way that you expect. Finally, when you get to the end stage of the project and you're coming up on launch, expect to work with your agency on any potential bugs. They should be able to make themselves available to help you address any issues that happen during the launch or shortly after. Beyond that, ask your agency about programs that they have in place to continue to support you into the future. You may have additional phases where you want to introduce new features, or maybe you have desires to make continuing changes along the way. Expect that your agency should transition into that trusted advisor phase and support you along the way. What's the commitment going to be like for my organization in terms of time and personnel? Well, an e-commerce build project could take anywhere from 12 to 20 weeks. The best way to mitigate the demands on your side is to designate somebody as a point of contact. Expect that this point of contact will be the dedicated person to deal with the development agency and keep that communication going between the two sides. As requests come across from the development agency, the point of contact should expect buy-in from your staff to help deliver on those tasks, and everybody should make a concerted effort to make sure things are met on the timeline and the deadline that they're due so that the project gets done in the expected amount of time. Any delays at this point can cost you in terms of additional time on the development side, which in turn is going to get passed on to you. So being able to get that buy-in, make sure that you have a designated point of contact All of these things will help you make sure that you get the result that you want in the time that you want to get it and put the least amount of demand on your internal resources. It's going to cost me. Well, a good rule of thumb is to think about the complexity. The more complex the project itself, typically the higher the cost involved. And what we mean by complexity is customizations. The more customizations that you may require to the theme on the front end, and also to back-end operations, things like integrations with back office systems, with third-party providers, or maybe custom applications that reflect the business model that you want on your site. Shopify agencies will have available different packages of build sizes. Those build packages will come with different amounts of customization built into them, different amounts of applications that they will provide out of the box, different amounts of work that go into the project itself. Those typically could range between, say, $10,000 to maybe $40,000. But if you require something even more complex than what those packages offer, expect for the cost to go higher from there. Again, starting at around that $40,000 range, potentially up to the mid-100s, depending on what your requirements are. Talk with your agency about what's the best way to do this and the most cost-efficient way, whether you can fit into one of the packages or you need a customized solution. If you do require a customized solution, you might be a candidate for the Shopify Plus platform as well. Be prepared that Shopify Plus comes with a monthly commitment starting at $2,000 per month. However, it also comes with a very robust support program which gets you direct access to their engineers and their specialists, along with your Shopify site developer who should be able to continue to support you into the future as well. Varid is an e-commerce development agency with a 20-year legacy of building high-performing e-commerce sites for online retailers, both big and small. Today, we can offer our customers site development capabilities, application development capabilities, client services capabilities, and professional services that deliver a holistic approach to helping our customers either build new sites or optimize the sites that they currently own.